Manage your insurance online with TD My Insurance. View policy details, chat with us, check your claim.
Welcome back to Breakfast Television. My name is Sid Cicero. A big day for Canadians. Millions head to the polls to cast their ballots and form the country's 44th parliament. 338 seats up for grabs, 170 needed to form a majority. But many experts believe no party will reach that magic number, meaning they got to work with each other. That should be no problem. Joining me now with a look at what to expect tonight is CityNews Ottawa reporter Xiaoli Li, joining us from in and around the Montreal area. Xiaoli, good morning to you. Is there a buzz in the air? Is there an election buzz in the air?
Good morning. I'm actually in front of a polling station that's also a school, so there's a bit of a buzz for kids heading to school for this the start of the new semester. Well, that was a little while ago, but this first month back in school. But yeah, we've seen some polling workers bringing equipment into the school a little earlier. They've been putting up the signs, so there is a bit of a hum going on, but it'll really start to kick off in just over an hour once the polling stations actually open, of course.
Xiaoli, constitutionally speaking, this is the shortest amount of time allowed for any federal election in this country. 36 days. Justin Trudeau did that strategically. He had a feeling the appetite for a pandemic election wasn't there. The polling would support that point. But we have seen a lot of odd things packed into those 36 days. Xiaoli, what stuck out to you as the most interesting aspect of all this?
Well, the most interesting aspect to me was seemingly how unprepared the Liberal Party was, because, as you said, they called the election, they picked the campaign length of time, but they didn't seem to be ready from the word go to articulate their particular vision for what they hope to do in the next government. They've said it's important they get a majority. They say they've got big plans. They want to enact those plans, but outside of $10 a day daycare and some promises about getting the country back on track and into economic recovery, they haven't put out a clear vision, not really. And you've seen in the last few weeks the Liberal Party change tack. Justin Trudeau has turned to attacks against his Conservative rival Erin O'Toole, and most recently he's used this new talking point on the campaign trail. I'm here for the vaccinated Canadians, the responsible majority who've gotten double vax, the kind of people who don't like seeing protests outside of hospitals. We'll see if that pays off for him, but polling suggests that he is right. The majority of Canadians have gotten their vaccines. Here in Quebec, it's just over 80% who have both doses. So, as I said, we'll see if that bid pays off for him.
I want to get back to Quebec in a moment, Xiaoli, but I do want to bring up Erin O'Toole here. And I thought, quite frankly, the bar was pretty low for a federal Conservative leader running in this country. I don't think Andrew Scheer had a clue what he was doing. Erin O'Toole, at least as a Southern Ontario candidate, knows full well he has to pull some votes from the middle here if the Conservatives are going to get some traction. What did you make of his campaign?
I mean, he's between a rock and a hard place. What I liked, from the word go, they had a platform ready. They had some clear ideas, or at least some clear talking points about what they were going to do. They could tell Canadians, here's our plan, here's what we hope to do. But then they strayed from that, sometimes speaking explicitly in contradiction to what was in their party platform. Of course, in the platform, they say that they're going to repeal some of those assault weapons bans. And then on the campaign trail, Erin O'Toole says, no, we're not going to do that. And then they amended that later. I said this earlier, I got to say it again, he is between a rock and a hard place. He doesn't want to alienate those voters who do see vaccination and vaccine mandates as an infringement on their freedoms, but at the same time, appealing too much to what is essentially a small percentage of the population could alienate the larger base. So he's in a difficult position. As you said, the bar's kind of low for Tory candidates here in Canada. He's done all right. We'll see how he does in about 24 hours or so, won't we?
Xiaoli, Jagmeet Singh polling at a steady 20%. That really hasn't changed much over the last 36 days. Has he made the case, do you think, to be the progressive alternative for those who can't hold their nose and vote for Trudeau?
It's difficult to say. It depends on how much you really value the idea that he can actually form government, and that should count for quite a lot. Sometimes it feels as though the party platform was put out there only as a matter of course, without clear details, costing, the kind of stuff you would expect from a government a party that actually expects to form the majority. And in that sense, it's been a bit weak, because I think a progressive voter who would like to vote for Jagmeet Singh or the NDP candidate in their riding would like some sort of reassurance that they are taking this seriously. They do intend to form government, but it seems they're really content to be the kingmaker in a majority government, or in a minority government, which is, of course, situation that they found themselves in the last parliament. So it's hard to say, really, if anything's changed for NDP supporters or NDP-leaning voters.
Xiaoli, before we let you go, we got 30 seconds. You were in Montreal. That is Trudeau country. However, the rest of Quebec, based on the polling, is right now leaning in a lot of different directions, specifically after the English debate, where some people were offended at the questioning that the Bloc Québécois got. Is that the province to watch tonight? Is Quebec the kingmaker either way here?
It could be. Certainly, if you ask Quebecers, they're going to say yes. If you ask Ontarians, they're going to say you got to watch out for those 905 votes, just like Mel said a little earlier in the show. But, of course, Quebec is going to be a big factor, just as big as the English language debate, I think. Francois Legault saying that he thinks a minority conservative government might be the best thing for Quebecers. And Legault, you know, despite what you might think of him outside Quebec, inside Quebec, he remains enormously popular. So him distancing himself from Trudeau and aligning himself a little closer with Erin O'Toole could make a big impact this election.
Xiaoli Li, he is part of our election coverage on CityNews tonight, joining us from Montreal. This is going to be fascinating, Xiaoli. We appreciate you. Take care.
You too, man.
It's going to be fun. All right, watch that a little later on. You sound off coming up. Our question is pretty simple today. Have you flip-flopped here over the last 36 days while the campaign played out? I have, a lot. Have you? 1-866-267-3797. Feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca, at Breakfast TV on Twitter 24/7. More Breakfast Television coming up.